For the record, I believe this is going to be a disaster. Need my can. Mic check. Mic check. Oh, I need my motherfucking script. Hey everybody, this is On My Screens, a podcast where a man and his wife talk about the media they be on. My name is T, and my co-host T is not here today, once again, because of reasons, right? So it's just me talking into a microphone again and a camera this time. So there will be a visual component to this episode. I'm really contemplating on even putting this out, but the fact is there will be one, and hopefully, I don't even know if the recording is going to take long or if it's going to capture everything because of the way that shit just works for me or anything like that. But I do know that I am recording myself. We'll see how long this shit fucking goes before it cuts out or I give up or whatever the fuck else, right? Today, the topic of the show, I guess the main topic of the show is going to be the Loki television series, which it just had its 4th episode. I wasn't able to make an episode last week because I got sick. I took my second COVID vaccine. You know what I mean? Looking out for my fellow man. And whenever I took the vaccine, the first day was okay, the day of, and then the second day, my fucking arm started itching. And then by that night, I had a fever. I had a 100-degree fucking fever. I was out of commission for about 2 days. So that really put me kind of behind whenever it came to watching any of my shows because I just was in bed because it felt like I had the flu. Like it didn't feel like just a regular, I don't know, like cold that I could just I didn't have the sniffles or anything like that. It was literally like I wanted to throw up, had no food in my stomach, but I was sick. And I had a temperature. It was crazy. T was she could probably tell you more about it if you were to ask her. But at this point, I'm back. I haven't had an episode come out. I haven't been uploading early like I usually do. Usually I upload these episodes way far in advance, but this one's probably going to be day of. So, pretty cool. It's awesome. So, first topic of the day, I guess, is I just want to say that I fucking called it. There's a clip of me talking about this in an episode. If I'm good enough at this video shit, then I will put the fucking clip of me saying this a couple months ago whenever WandaVision came out, right? So here's the clip. You know what would be crazy? I haven't watched any. I've been trying to stay away from fucking YouTube and Wanda theories and shit. What if they added some shit after?
Impossible.
That would be crazy, right? That would be fucking crazy.
It'd be fucked up.
If nobody watched it again,
they wouldn't know.
They'd never know it was there. But at the end, that would be crazy. That would be insane. And we'd have the motherfucking scoop. Okay, hopefully there's a clip right there. So if the clip is right there, you'll see that I said that I hope that they changed it. Now, I was on TikTok the other day, and I noticed this. Let's see if I can find that clip.
Marvel just added Doctor Strange to the WandaVision post-credit scene. If you go back and watch the WandaVision post-credit scene, you'll notice that 3 things have changed. This is the shot from March, and this is the shot from today. One, they did some more detailing on the forest area, but the more important one is that they added a Doctor Strange silhouette. It appears to be when he's in his actual projection form. And we know that it's Doctor Strange because now his music is credited at the end of the movie. Doctor Strange theme by Michael Giacchino. It's kind of hard to see, but you can see the silhouette right up here. And this change makes sense because they want to build a connection to Multiverse of Madness.
Right. So hopefully both of those clips are in there. And basically what has happened is, if they didn't get in the video, is that I said, you know what would be cool? Now, I don't know if Marvel did this on purpose or if they did this hoping that nobody would notice. But I mean, come on, dude. You're Marvel. Everybody notices everything that you guys do. It's just like whenever a video game console puts out a new patent or something, and it's oh, I wonder what this is, and it's made by Sony, and it's oh, this is probably for the PS5 or PSVR or whatever they got going on. You know what I'm saying? And somebody had noticed basically that the trees were a different color in the closing sequence of WandaVision. So in that closing sequence, it zooms in on this log cabin. And during that zoom in process, now you can see something floating in the trees, right? And nobody knows what it is. But I literally said, like, what if Marvel changed one of the ending sequences, like the post-credit scenes? Like, what if they changed one without anybody noticing? And the only way that you could see it is if you went back and watched it again. You know what I mean? And it seems like they've done that. And I've seen multiple sources online talking about that it could be Doctor Strange. It could be something that Loki's fucked up in the timeline. It could be a whole bunch of different things. And that's literally what I wasn't thinking like that, but I was thinking like it would be cool if they added an extra scene or they did something to a scene that would clarify some things. You know what I mean? Because the first time I watched the show, I didn't see that end credit scene. So the fact that they changed it, it kind of like, it blows my mind. And I'm like, this should be a bigger deal than it fucking is. And I see multiple sources talk about it, but it doesn't seem to be a big deal for people. Like I thought it was fucking crazy. Like there's like, especially since I said it before, like I've never had the foresight to be like, that would be cool if they did something like this. And now they've done it. So, yeah, I just think that that's really cool. And if anybody sees that, go ahead and tell Marvel to run me my check. You know what I'm saying? Also, we still have the giveaway going on. If you guys listen to the end of the episode, hopefully I'll remember to say it, say what the entry details are. But that's the first thing I need you guys to do is recognize that we do have a giveaway going on right now, and I'd like to get this stuff kind of done before before it becomes annoying for the first person and annoying for the last person, because the first person, it's probably going to be a big gap in between the first person asking and following the rules of the giveaway, and then the last person asking and following the rules of the giveaway. So, that's what that is. What else we got? What else I've been on? So, what I've been on. So, recently, like I said, I've been kind of out of commission since the last time we talked. The previous one I had a whole bunch of shows that I had been watching, but this time not so much, just because just me being sick and me trying to get through all these fucking animes and shit, which I guess the first thing I'll talk about is Demon Slayer. So Demon Slayer, right? Like Demon Slayer is a real popular anime. It's out right now. It's on Netflix. I think there's about 26 episodes, if I remember correctly. And then in those 26 episodes, you're following Tanjiro and his sister Nezuko, who's been turned into a demon, and then he becomes a demon slayer to try to find the demon that turned his sister. Once he finds the demon that turns his sister, he's going to figure out a way to turn her back. So this is Inuyasha meets I'm going to say, this is what I said whenever I was watching it. It reminded me of Inuyasha mixed with, which Inuyasha I haven't even finished, but because I couldn't find anywhere to watch it, but I think they have it on HBO Max. So if anybody wants to watch Inuyasha, HBO Max, I'm pretty sure has it. Demon Slayer reminds me of Inuyasha meets like Kung Fu Hustle. Like the way that they fight in this show is very reminiscent of Kung Fu Hustle. Like it reminded me of the different styles that if you ever watch Kung Fu Hustle, spoiler alert, they go into this little town, and in the little town there are these master martial artists, and nobody knows. Like everybody just thinks that one guy's he just works, like he's just like a laborer, like he like picks up bags and stuff. But like during their, not their fight sequences, but during their work, you can see that they have like amassed skills that are just way beyond anything that you would think of, right? And then somebody attacks the village, and then those masters have to come out and start fighting. One's a laborer, one's like he does laundry, I believe, and then the other one he makes some type of pastry. I want to say it's noodles, but I can't remember. But he makes something with dough, and he rolls out dough. But like the way he does it and the way he fights is just it's amazing. You should watch Kung Fu Hustle if you haven't seen fucking Kung Fu Hustle. If you haven't seen Kung Fu Hustle, get on that like immediately, because it is one of the best kung fu movies, especially the kind of Jackie Chan style, like jokey kind of kung fu movies that I've ever seen, and it holds up tremendously well. So in that, the way that their powers and stuff are portrayed, it reminded me a lot of whenever Tanjiro and the fight sequences are happening. Inuyasha part is the kind of villain of the week mode of it, but the only problem with the show is, and this is the part where I get to the cons, because like the pros are, it has really good animation, it has really good fight sequences, especially ones that whenever you're not expecting them, and the execution of the, I guess, anime elements are pretty good, but everything else is trash. Like, I swear to God, like the plot takes forever. Like the main boss didn't show up until, like, I don't know, maybe halfway in, and then you find out who he is, you see what his powers are, and you're like, all right, that's pretty cool. And then it tells you that there's these 12, basically he has like 12 mini bosses underneath him that you have to keep fighting, which is, this is where I get the Inuyasha thing, where it's like everybody's looking for the Shikon Jewel. The Shikon Jewel has been broken up into a billion pieces, so you have a billion different shards out there where you can fight a billion different fucking demons, right? This show, he fights 4 demons, and it takes him like 5 episodes to kill each one, so it's like, once he's done with one, he goes on to the next one, but so much time has passed that it's just like let's go. Like, you're taking way too long to fight these guys. I don't understand what the problem is. And then you don't even reach one of the 12 until about 8 episodes until the conclusion. So the conclusion is about 2 or 3 episodes. But like one of the 12 you meet, he's like a spider guy, and he's pretty formidable, and Tanjiro's not even the one that kills him. Like, it's another guy. It just comes out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, was he watching him the whole time? Was he following him? Was he, like, I don't understand what's going on. But, and then you meet, at the conclusion, you meet the crew of demon slayers that are like the elite of the elite. And you're like, well, why the fuck am I following around Tanjiro? What makes him interesting? And I still haven't found that. I guess because he can smell really well. Like, that's his like claim to fame, is like, oh my gosh, I can smell the demon blood. Oh, that's the demon that turned my sister. I smell that same smell that killed my parents. Spoiler alert: first episode is him coming back home and seeing that his sister and his entire family has been killed by demons, which you would think that it would like be more heartfelt or whatever, but it really, I ain't feel shit. I was just like, oh, like, okay, so who we fighting next, kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like Inuyasha jumped right into it and was like, that's a demon, those are demons. And I mean, every episode is the exact same. That's another main thing that I noticed about Inuyasha, is that, you know, every episode, pretty much before they start meeting people, like before they start meeting their like his little sidekicks, like Moroku and I can't remember the fox demon, but I want to say Kurama, but it's not Kurama, it's like his son. And he meets in Sesshomaru and all these kind of guys. Like he comes in, oh, that guy has a Shikon Jewel, Wind Scar, we got the Shikon Jewel back, and then peace out. You know what I'm saying? And then you find out pretty early on that most of these demons, and the main demon that they're trying to find is Naraku, all that kind of stuff. Naraku is the same as this other guy because he can turn people into demons, like, without killing them, and usually it kills them. And they are stronger demons because they are turned by damn, I cannot remember his name. I'm gonna have to cut this shit out. Kibutsuji. That's the main villain. And Kibutsuji, like I said, he has the ability to scratch somebody and then, like, they'll turn into a demon. A pretty strong demon too, not like the regular rank and file demons that they fight normally. So he's over here looking like a smooth criminal. Like, he literally looks like Michael Jackson in Smooth Criminal video. But he goes in, Wind Scar, defeats the demon, and then peace out. Like, this is the same formula on Demon Slayer, except Wind Scar takes him 4 or 5 episodes for him to get the Wind Scar out. But even though it's the same move, like every little mini boss demon that he reaches before he reaches one of the 12 is defeated with water form jutsu form 12 or form 10 or whatever the fuck it is. Like, I can't remember what it is, but basically his sword becomes engulfed in water, and then he slices through them. It's the exact same thing as Inuyasha, like I said, except it takes forever. Inuyasha, every episode you have a new demon that you're fighting, and he defeats it the same way, much like the fucking Power Rangers. But I don't know. It seems like things are progressing in Inuyasha all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like he'll defeat a demon, and then he'll find somebody that has like, oh, she's a demon slayer, and then she has a big fucking boomerang. Sometimes she uses that bitch to no avail. You know what I'm saying? She can take out 20 demons, but she won't take out the main demon. We've got Moroku. He's got a big hole in his hand. The hole in his hand sucks up things, and then it's like, all right, well, that's a fucking OP move. Well, what does Naraku do? He puts little bees out into the air, and then the bees, he can't use his wind tunnel no more. So it's like, all right, so Moroku's kind of out of the game, but he's still a priest, and he can still use magic, and he can take out about 20 little demons. You know what I'm saying? But the speed at which they dispatch things is a lot better, and it's a lot more, the pacing is a lot better. The pacing on Demon Slayer is just like, dude, let's go. Like, the most interesting thing that the demon did was, and the demon is living as a human, which is pretty cool. I'll give him that. But and like secretly, and he has like a little family and everything. Like it's nuts. But at the end of the show, I think it's the last fucking episode, it shows him with, I guess, the lower 6 demons, and he's talking to them, and they're just like they're afraid of him because he's so much more powerful. And he ends up killing like 3 or 4 of them. You know what I mean? And it's just like, oh shit. And he's like, I don't need the lower 6 anymore. I just need the upper 6 because you guys aren't carrying your weight, basically. And yeah, that's the show. I recommend it because I can tell that it is going somewhere, but I can't recommend it. Like, I'm gonna have to force myself through it because it's so bogged down in, I don't even know, because it's not like the character development is there, because like I said, nothing has changed in those 26 episodes. Literally, his family dies, he becomes a demon slayer. That took forever too. Like, him becoming a demon slayer took a long time, which usually they kind of skip over that shit in animes, like, or in mangas in general. They just kind of skip over that part. It's just like, oh, well, he's using it, but he can't fully control it or something. Or, you know, he damages himself whenever he does it, or, you know, something like that. Like, it's something that kind of slows him down. But no, he knows 10 different forms of the same move, and he just uses those 10 forms. He has ran into a couple interesting characters, like there's like a little nerdy kid that he runs into. I can't remember his name. Not Kyojuro. That's one of the goats. Zenitsu and Inosuke. So both of those guys are pretty dope. Like, Zenitsu is like, he goes into like these trances, and then he has one move, and he has mastered one fucking move, and that one move is devastating. Like, he's used it multiple times, and it's pretty dope every time he uses it. And then Inosuke is the guy, if you ever see a Demon Slayer fucking cosplay or anything, a lot of people cosplay Inosuke, and he has like a fucking like warthog head on, and he has these 2 fucking swords that are beat to shit, like with all these like teeth in them and shit. Like, he's fucking dope. Like, he's a cool character. Like, come run my fucking fade type shit. You know what I'm saying? And then Nezuko, for sure. That's the sister, who's also a demon who's been turned, but she doesn't attack humans. She's been hypnotized and all this kind of stuff. But she is a child of he has a long last name, but they say it a lot, but I cannot remember, like, every time. What the fuck? Kibitsuji Muzan. That's who it is. And they run in, or since he's the main villain and she is made from him, she is a lot stronger than the little rank and file demons that they come across. I'm sure that they've said that. I'm sure that I've said that one time too many. But anyway, after we meet them, we meet the main, I don't know, I think there's like 7 of the main demon slayers, like the really strong demon slayers, which are like, and they're so strong that they defeated one of the 12 in the blink of an eye. Right? And it just made me go, oh, well, shit. Well, is it like, what are we doing here? You know what I'm saying? Like, but there's a guy named Rengoku. Well, I haven't seen him fight, but, he looks really cool. Like, he has like orange hair. He's like fire based, like when everybody else is water. the two guys that I've seen have been water based. So Tanjiro and I cannot remember the guy's name that saves him. Doesn't matter. The fact is, yeah, it just takes too long. It just takes too long. I wouldn't recommend it unless you're trying to watch the entire series, because right now, that was the first series. It was 26 episodes, and like I said, he beat one guy, one boss. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else was just like either rank and file, or it was like there was this one guy that was like in this like pagoda, and he would like shift the walls by hitting these little drums on his chest and shit, and like it was inconsequential for them to defeat him. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's Demon Slayer on the minimum, not on the whole, because I can't really keep going into it. But it's all right. We're gonna check out the film, because the film just came out, and the movie was in theaters, and I think it's the highest grossing anime in North America, at least, like I think ever, and it made like I don't know, $60 million or some shit. That is, I don't think that's ever happened. So, especially over here, and it had like a full theatrical release, if I remember correctly. It was in theaters for a long time. It might still be in theaters, but they're running it simultaneously because there's not a lot of movies out. And yeah, so that was that. And then what else did I watch? I watched fucking this show. Pardon my language. Record of Ragnarok. Now, once again, this was another show on Netflix that was on Netflix, and it was number 9 trending on US Netflix. I've never seen an anime trending on Netflix, you know what I'm saying? So I watched that shit, and let me tell you, this is one of the laziest animes that I've ever seen in my life. Now, I'll bet the manga's a lot better, because it felt less like an anime, and it felt more like there used to be a Black Panther show. I can't remember exactly what they call those, but it's like a moving comic. You know what I mean? Like instead of there being actual real animation, for the most part, it's a lot of still images that are like shifting in the fucking scene, if that makes any sense, and like there's lines but behind them and shit. Like it's kind of fucked up. So but it feels lazy. Like it feels like you're watching Speed Racer, where like you just see Speed Racer on like a yellow background and like shit flying behind him, but it doesn't really give you the sense of him moving through space. You know what I'm saying? And that's how this show is. And I'm not a big fan. Like the storyline behind it is pretty cool, which is there is Ragnarok. So basically the gods have decided to destroy humans. Since the gods have decided to destroy humans, Brunhild, which is one of the Valkyries, she has decided, hey, we need to try to save the humans, and the best way to do that is to give them the opportunity to fight for another 1,000 years, to keep living for another 1,000 years. And whenever they do that, they have to fight other gods, and all the gods, and it's not like the Valkyries are like Norse mythology, I believe, but it has all of the gods, like all of the different gods throughout history. Like Shiva's one of the gods, Zeus is one of the gods. He's like the announcer and mediator of the actual tournament. And first one to get 7 wins the entire Ragnarok. And basically the humans have to fight the gods in order to ensure that they get their time, and they're given weapons that are made from the spirits and the bodies of different Valkyries. It's kind of out there, you know what I'm saying? But it makes sense especially in an anime setting, but it makes sense in the actual show setting. But like I said, the animation is bad. It's not good, in my opinion. It's not good. It is rough. Now, there are some really good character designs. Like whenever they first show, the first god that they fight is Thor. Now, Thor, I guess traditionally, not even traditionally, we look at him as Thor basically from the movies. You know what I'm saying? He's Thor from the Marvel movies. which I guess is a fine description of him, but they use a different description and they give him red hair for one thing. And he's like super anime looking. He has this big ass, like, you should see the hammer. You should see Mjolnir. It looks ridiculous, but it looks cool, which he throws every once in a while. I think he throws it twice. And he has to fight Lu Bu, which is he was like a Chinese general, I believe. I could be wrong. Yeah, he was Chinese. In Imperial China. He fights him, and he's fighting him on equal footing. Thor doesn't want to kill him, but he has to because he has to win the tournament. He ends up fucking beating him. You gotta watch it. But this is another one where I think it was only like 13 episodes. So this one I kind of flew through, and it wasn't that bad, but it took me like 3 or 4 days to actually watch it. And I didn't enjoy it enough to recommend it, but I did enjoy it enough to keep watching it because the show on its own was just mediocre. Like it was just mediocre. Like the fights weren't good. Like most of the fights would be like, all right, one god, one human, they run up on each other, they clash. Once they clash, you realize, oh shit, the human is actually a little bit stronger than we thought. And then they explain what that human's ability is. Like, the first fight was Lu Bu. He didn't really have an ability, but he was, I can't think of the word. It's like, he was tenacious. Like, he was super tenacious. And he fought Thor. Thor swung his hammer, and he was able to block it, but broke both of his fucking legs. You know what I'm saying? Like, so... And in each one of these fights, like I said, this show's like 13 episodes, and it took 4 episodes for each fucking fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what's crazy about this, is that it took so long for everything to kind of get fucking going. You know what I'm saying? And like, like the god fights, or the god swings, the human blocks it, they're clashed, and they look at each other, and they're like, oh my gosh, he's stronger than I thought he was. And then it's like, well, he has the ability of XYZ, and then they tell the ability, and his weapon is made from this Valkyrie. This Valkyrie has the ability to ABC. You know what I'm saying? So that's how each episode goes. And I mean, the first 3 fights, is it the first 3? 1, 2, 3? Yeah, the first. No. The first 2 fights. The first 2 fights are you think that the humans have the upper hand, and then they fucking do not. Okay, they fucking do not. It's not even close. And Lu Bu, and then the second guy is Adam, like Adam and Eve, like literally since God created him in His image, he has the ability to copy all of the God's moves. Like it's pretty cool. Like that was pretty cool. But then he overexerts himself, and it's like, okay, like what was the point? Like he should have won the fight because he fought Zeus, and it was just like, he should have won that fucking fight. I don't understand, but fuck it. Like this ain't not my show. So after that, we get Kojiro Sasaki, who is a famous Japanese swordsman who fights on the 3rd match. His weapon is Monohoshizao, a 2-handed Nadochai, no Dachai, granted by the Valkyrie Hrist, whose special ability involved her to transform into 2 weapons after the fucking sword is shattered. You see what I'm saying? Like, he fought, he clashed, the sword broke, and then, oh, my special ability is I can actually become 2 swords. And it's like, oh, this is, what? Like, this sucks. Like, are you fucking kidding me? But he wins his fight. It's pretty fucking dope whenever he does win. Like, I was, like, surprised. But everything else behind the show is ass. Like, I was just like, this looks terrible. This doesn't, like, nothing about this looks good. And then, so that was Lu Bu, Adam, and then Kojiro. So Kojiro fought, who did he fight? He fought Poseidon. And Poseidon was a badass. So it goes Thor, Zeus, Poseidon, Lu Bu, Adam from Adam and Eve, and then Sasaki. So, anyway, Lu Bu, Adam, Sasaki, and Thor, Zeus, Poseidon. I don't know where I was. I'm going to just keep going. So they fight. It was all good. And then the last fight before the last episode it's not even a fight because we don't get to the fight. Like it's Jack the Ripper. So they went to London, and found the most successful, or not successful, but infamous serial killer of all time, and he's going to fight Hercules. So I'm sure it's going to go the exact same way. Jack the Ripper is going to run up on. Matter of fact, there's something different about him. What I think that he's going to use stealth and like conniving. Like he's gonna be slipping into the shadows and shit like that. But it's not going to be any match for Hercules. Hercules is going to block his attack, and then they're going to clash, and they're going to realize, oh, Jack the Ripper has these two little daggers that are going to be, I haven't read the manga or anything, so if I'm fucking calling this shit, let me know down in the comments below. But he's gonna have a dagger, two daggers that is a Valkyrie that has the ability to take the blood of his victims and then siphon it off, and you know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be something fucking corny. You know what I'm saying? And they're gonna clash. He's gonna be a little bit stronger than we thought, and I mean, there's no telling who's gonna win the fight, because in the Adam and Eve fight, like the first man fight versus Zeus, the motherfucker punches Zeus and literally spins his head probably 2 or 3 times, and you would think that would kill him, but of course not, because this show has no, like, the magic is so soft in it that it just doesn't happen. Like, he doesn't kill him. I don't understand how or why he doesn't kill him, but it makes the show a lot less enthralling, because you don't know, like there's no rules. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no rules to how strong the gods are versus how strong the humans are. So it's like, I don't even know why we're doing this. It's kind of like watching, like I remember watching Baki, and it was just like, luckily that show has a lot of cool fight sequences, and like they use a pretty, I don't want to say it's a hard magic scale, but it's like a lukewarm magic scale, which if anybody doesn't know, like soft magic versus hard magic is like the Force, where it's just like, we're just going to pull some shit out of our ass every once in a while and be like, hey, that was the Force. Like the Force did it. But then you have like hard magic, where it's like, hard magic would be like mutants in X-Men, especially in the comics, where it's like, not only like Iceman, okay, he can make snowballs, right? He can make ice ramps and stuff. He can put ice behind his feet and then shoot forward like at Mach 1 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like you can do it real fast and all that kind of stuff. And then they kind of dig deeper and deeper and deeper, and then go, well, what is his power? And then you start going, oh, well, actually he can slow things down to on a molecular level, so slow that it actually causes it to freeze over. So what can you do with that kind of power? If you can make the molecules in the air freeze, then that means that you can make your body freeze. And then you start kind of playing with the abilities of, the ability to change the states of matter. You know what I'm saying? Like if you can dive deeper and deeper and deeper into it, instead of, just like, oh, well, I can lift rocks, and I have telepathy, and I have, you know what I'm saying? Like if you ever look at like, just any superhero that has like some sort of like an elemental power, the way that they use their power, like Avatar is really good at that. Avatar had a real succinct and well understood sense of hard magic, where it's like, all right, I'm a metal, or not a metal bender, I'm a water bender. I'm a water bender, and then you go, well, wait a minute, if you're a water bender, you can manipulate all types of water. Why wouldn't you be able to manipulate somebody's blood? Because our bodies, or just somebody's body in general, like our bodies are made up of like 70% water. How is it that you can't just manipulate somebody's body? And it's like, oh, well, you got to be really skilled. It's got to be a full moon. It's got to, you know what I'm saying? Like you put all of these kind of rules into it, and you go, oh, that makes perfect sense, because the moon actually gives them power, and only really good benders can do this. I think in Legend of Korra, they kind of got rid of that shit, like, because somebody actually teaches somebody else how to do it, because it's like a forbidden technique, but fucking, what's the girl's name? Katara learns how to do it, and she teaches everybody else whenever she's older. Like, it's a whole thing, but it makes sense, and it's such a hard, like, there's a hard line, like, all right, so I can make fucking, I can move water. I can take the water vapor out of the air and turn that into water. I can take that water and then fucking turn it into steam. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a hard magic system versus like there is some soft magic in there where it's like the avatar has the avatar state, and it's like, what can you do in the avatar state? And it's like, pretty much anything you want. You know what I'm saying? But that's fine because they've established like all these other hard magic scales that can be done. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Lightning redirects. You know what I'm saying? Boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? We got what do we got? We got lightning redirects. We got lightning in general. We have, what is the earthbenders? They can bend metal because metal is made from fucking earth, unless it's too pure, like platinum, Legend of Korra, going back. And then we got, what's the other thing? We got water, which is blood bending. And then we got air, which is, I guess, like pure flight is like one of the things that they can do. That and that thing where they can put like a fucking vortex around your head and suck the air out of your lungs. Hard fucking magic. Hard magic. You know what I'm saying? It's insane. So that's that. And those are the only shows that I think I've been watching. Like, I haven't really started anything else. Like, oh, I did watch, what was that other show? I watched Love, Death, and Robots, and I watched a couple episodes, and I don't know what the hell it was, man. I was watching season 1, and I was thoroughly impressed, and I was not impressed the first time I watched it. And now I'm gonna have to go back, and if I do another one of these fucking rant videos, then I will talk about my favorite episodes of that. But I remember one episode was a really good one where like a guy wakes up in a space pod, and then his crew doesn't wake up, but he wakes up and he's met by one of his former allies. And whenever he meets her, she's saying, hey, you're way off course. You shouldn't even be here. And then like his partner wakes up and she's like, look at this bitch. This is not who you think it is. And then, you know, it goes from there. Really good episode. I got to find the names. I'll do a whole episode on that if I fucking can or whatever. But, I guess the main thing that we're talking about today, I don't know how much more time I have to record, but we will just keep fucking going. Like I said, the video might cut off, but the fucking audio is still gonna be there, motherfuckers. So if anybody's watching this shit and the video cuts out, I'll splice in the audio in order to make sure that the video kind of goes the same length. So, but yeah, been watching Loki, really cool show. Like most of the Marvel shows, it's very different than what we thought. Or not we. Who the fuck is we? Very different than what I thought. I wasn't sure what it was going to be. I thought it was going to be him time jumping through different times and being Loki. You know what I mean? Like, he's like, oh, I got a new lease on life. I can go fuck with some more people. Like, that's what I thought the show was going to be. Come to find out, it's a fucking buddy cop series where Loki is falling in love with himself, the female version of himself, and getting chased by Owen Wilson. So, but the show has been pretty consistent throughout. Like the last episode 3 was kind of a dull one, but you could tell it was setting up for some stuff. Episode 1, it starts off right where whenever he took the Tesseract and yeeted the fuck out of Avengers 1, and he ends up in like a desert, gets caught by the TVA, which is the time variance. I think that's what it's called. Damn, I didn't write anything for whatchamacallit. I think it's Time Variance Agency or something like that. And they basically look over the sacred timeline that is controlled by the timekeepers. Like, there's a whole bunch of shit that just, whenever it was set up, I was like, this is all bullshit. Like, I hate to say that on episode 4 because it's been revealed now that it's bullshit, but I just remember writing or watching it and being like, what is it that they're trying to do here? Like, what is it exactly that what are the time, like, because the main thing that I kept hearing was that the timekeepers are so busy. Like, the timekeepers are so busy. We can't mess with them. We can't ask them for anything because they're so busy. And I was like, first thing I thought was just, cause I heard this on Weekly Planet, not Weekly Planet, but, Mr. Sunday Movies. And, he was talking about it, and, Mason, he said that the timekeepers are dead. I didn't think that they were dead. I just thought that they were not as busy because here's the deal. If you have the timeline, right, they've already basically what they had a whole bunch of branching different timelines, and that's the reason Loki got caught, because he wasn't supposed to escape. And once he escaped, it created a new timeline. They stopped him and then arrested him, basically. So, and he's been doing this, different versions of him have been doing this all throughout time. But there's one main one that is one that they can't catch. And we find out later that she's like, that it's the female Loki, and she is so adept at this. Like, she's been doing this since she was like a little girl, like a I don't know, like an 8-year-old. You know what I mean? She's been jumping through times, and they haven't been able to catch her. So he decides to help them try to find his other version. Now, in episode 2, we find out that Loki, like the female Loki, has been hiding out in different apocalypses, because they found out that if she fucks up some shit in a world that's already supposed to be destroyed, then it doesn't change anything. She can kind of sneak into each apocalypse that she can find. Like, she'll find an apocalypse, go there, do whatever she needs to do to collect supplies, whatever, and then go to another time to fuck with shit. We don't know what she's doing. Come to find out, she drops all these fucking bombs, which creates all these little branches of the timeline. Oh, that's what I was talking about. So the timeline has already been shrunk. So they have one timeline now that they call the sacred timeline, right? So that sacred timeline has been made. What would the TVA, I mean, not the TVA, but what would the timekeepers have to keep doing with the time that's already created? It's there. You know what I'm saying? It's not like they're still working on it. It's there, because otherwise, if it wasn't there, you understand how past, present, and future work? Like, if you already know what the past, present, and future is, that means it's already fucking done. You see what I'm saying? So it's done. This ties into fate and all that kind of shit, right? Like, he wasn't supposed to escape, which created a branch, right? If they already knew he wasn't supposed to escape, then that means that the timeline is complete. So why is it that we are trying to not trying to protect it, but what makes the timekeepers so busy? Doesn't sound like they're busy to me. Like, it doesn't make sense that they're busy. Like, there's nothing to warrant the fact that nobody can get anything done without the bureaucracy of the TVA and the permission of the timekeepers. It just doesn't make sense. So that immediately drew red flags to me. But in the TVA, we find out that Loki is he's powerless, but so he decides to help and all that kind of stuff, and he uses his smarts to get all this stuff done. And then they find her. She tells him, basically, it's kind of like a basic understanding of what it is that she's doing, and she blows up all these bombs that she's been collecting, which creates all these different branches on the timeline, which in episode 4 they didn't even bring that shit up. Like, I don't know, I guess they fixed it, you know what I'm saying? But the fact is, in episode 3, I want to say at the end of episode 3, maybe episode 2, I can't remember, but she sets off all those bombs, and those bombs, they seem to create a whole bunch of different branches, and it hasn't been brought back up yet. So I don't know what the remedy is for that, but the fact is she has done that, and Loki is like falling in love with her, which, you know, we get it. Like, it is a thing, and they just keep calling him a narcissist because he's like, you didn't fell in love with yourself, like just a female version of yourself, which she is totally different than him. Like, she has different powers and everything. Everybody keeps calling her Enchantress. I don't know who Enchantress is. The only Enchantress I know is from that fucking Suicide Squad movie. So if there's an Enchantress in Marvel, I don't know who the fuck she is. You know what I'm saying? I'd have to look back into that. But yeah. So this last episode, though, fucking Loki got fucking murked, and I don't know where the fuck they gonna go with that shit, but he definitely got hit with the stick that eliminates you, and he's gone. And the girl, she was kind of upset about it. So I don't know what's going on. I'm very interested to see where they go with this show. This show I highly recommend all the Marvel stuff, only because I ain't trying to go to the movies and explain the shit to people, or it's like, hey, dude, who the fuck is that? And it's like, he was in an after credit scene in the third movie. If you saw the third movie, then you would know that. Okay, in the second movie, you know what I'm saying, where it's just like, how come Thor doesn't have an eye now? Like this is insane how people can watch a film series and just have no, like, they just can't, like, they can just walk into Infinity War and then be like, since when has Spider-Man been? And it's like, how have you missed this? How have you missed this? Oh, I didn't see Civil War. Why not? Like, we'll say Captain America. He makes the best. They have the Captain America movies are the best. Like, what are you talking about? Like, out of all the, like, the group, if you were to look at the group, he has the best set of movies out of everybody. Now, there's some outliers. There's the Thor Ragnaroks of the world, where it's just like, yeah, that was probably the best, like, Marvel movie, but, like, you know, sub Infinity War, that's probably the best. But, like, Ragnarok was the best standalone movie, and it's like, well, shit, how do we, like, how do you miss this stuff? Like, I at this point, you have to know it's a series, and you have to know that you kind of have to pay attention. You don't even really have to pay attention, but you're going to be lost on some parts if you don't realize what happened in Ant-Man 2 led directly into Endgame. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's weird to me. It's weird to me. But I can't knock nobody. You know what I'm saying? I be watching animes and shit that started off, that I done started in the fucking middle of them hoes. So, you know, whatever. But anyway, yeah, that's it. So, episode 4 of Loki. I wrote all these fucking notes. I didn't really write that many, but, like, the timekeepers are not real. They showed the girl Loki's origin. I guess her whole thing was that her whole timeline got destroyed because I guess she came out a girl. I don't know. And it's funny how the Lokis, like, they're talking to each other, and there was one point where Tom Hiddleston, Loki, he says, you're on a rampage. Basically, I don't know, I just want to paraphrase. And he's like, you're on a rampage against these guys in the TVA and the timekeepers who claim to control time. And it's like, he just said claim to control time, yet everybody in the TVA is so enchanted with them, like, oh my god, they're so busy, and we can't do that, because if we do that, it'll mess up the sacred timeline, and then the timekeepers will come down on our heads and all that kind of stuff. So I don't fucking get it, but it is what it is. We just gonna move on. They end up fighting in the timekeeper's office or whatever, and we realize that the TVA agents are nothing but a bunch of variants, and we also realize that the fucking timekeepers are a bunch of robots. So who's been pulling the strings on the robots? I don't fucking know. I'm about to go watch a Mr. Sunday Movies breakdown, because you know, he's the only one I trust. He's not the only one I trust, but he is digestible. You know what I mean? He makes digestible fucking videos, and they know what they're talking about a lot more than I do. So, and then, yeah, at the end of the episode, Loki is dusted. So he ends up getting fucking dusted, and that's it. If you ever watch a circuit board short out, that's what it looked like whenever somebody gets shorted out, or erased from the timeline, purged. I think that's what they call it. So, yeah, that's all I've been watching. And this is the first video episode, and I hope you fucking enjoyed it. If you didn't, you know, that's to be expected, because I'm fucking me. So if anybody wants to, I'm just going to run through this real quick. Check us out on all social media platforms. Find us at onmyscreenspod.com. I want to thank anybody that's listening, anybody that's watching the new and improved video portion. We'll see how long this goes. I don't know if it's even still recording, but it's all good. Check us out on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at onmyscreenspod, or email us at onmyscreens@gmail.com. Join our Discord. Thanks for listening. I've been T, and we out. Peace.